Celebrating the 40th anniversary of the fantastic fantasy epic movie Krull, let's look at the fire mares. Fire mares are a species of horse around the same size as the draft horses of planet Earth. They have a range of colours from white and grey to pure black, but most have coats in deep to honey brown patterns. They are in most ways exactly like horses as we know them. They live in herds led by the strongest stallion. They are grazers that prefer to inhabit open areas such as steppes and grasslands, and they tend to travel near rivers and other water sources where possible. Fire mares have dark lower legs, seemingly scorched and blackened with thick, almost metallic black hooves. The hooves of a fire mare are so durable and strong they never need horseshoes, and it would be impossible to fit them with such things as no nail can penetrate their hoof. No matter how hard you hammer it, their hooves are harder than iron. On planet Krull, the herds are not uncommon and mostly roam the region known as the Grimout Mountains. Considering the fearsome predators that inhabit the same area, it would be remarkable for such herds to thrive there, but the fire mares have a hidden quality that ensures their survival: their incredible speed. They don't often move at their top speed unless they have to, but they have been observed galloping across the landscape at just over 125 miles per hour, or 201 kilometers per hour, and can cover up to 1,000 leagues in one day. That's 3,000 miles, even with people riding them. To give some comparison to normal horses, on Earth, an Earth horse at full gallop typically hits around 30 miles per hour or 48.5 kilometers per hour. Top speed record is around 55 miles per hour. They will not travel much further than 2 miles at that pace, as it is very tiring. They can cover around 20 miles at a trot of around 8 to 12 miles per hour, but to cover a good 50 miles, up to 100 miles in some cases in one day, the horse is not going to be moving at more than a steady walking speed of 4.3 miles per hour and will need a good day of rest per few days of riding. Horses of Earth don't have to contend with packs of giant hunting birds like axebeaks, nor do they get ambushed by land sharks or chased by vicious and cunning two-legged sickle claws who hunt in packs. The sickle claws are about 18 feet long and weigh around 660 pounds by the time they reach full size at 14 years of age, with the largest in a pack weighing as much as a polar bear. So, quite capable of taking down a horse even as large as a fire mare. While very fast at around 20 to 30 miles per hour, the pack hunting makes them so incredibly dangerous to horses. So the fire mares get fast. Very fast. Fire mares are very strong, but have quite a placid nature and don't mind being caught and ridden for a while by people. But they don't form bonds with people, and when you are closer in proximity to the fire mares and get to know them a bit better, the less like horses they are. For example, you'll note that while placid around people, they are very dangerous around smaller animals and don't have the same teeth as horses, evidenced by the long canines in the upper and lower jaw. Because they not only graze on vegetation, they are quite formidable predators. They often dig up the burrows of small animals with their powerful legs and hooves, and a single full-strength strike from their leg into a shallow river creates a shockwave that will stun or kill nearby fish, similar to throwing a grenade in the water. The metabolism required to reach such incredible speed means that fire mares consume as many calories as they can after they go full throttle. It takes them days to build up enough energy, consuming hundreds of thousands of calories. So under normal circumstances, they'll only do so in emergencies or when they are migrating a great distance from one prosperous feeding ground to another. If ever captured, they will seem quite placid because they don't feel threatened by humanoids, and if kept too long, they will eventually escape back to the wild to rejoin their herd at some point. Plus, they're not very easy to keep as they have a much more voracious and varied diet than other horses, so along with several sacks of oats per day, they would normally consume several small animals or perhaps a moderately sized pig, sheep or goat. Not only that, they do eat grass. They'll also strip the bark off of trees and tear apart a log dam of a nest of beavers, which they eat quite often. Their love of eating beavers is one reason they travel close to rivers, plus their love of eating fish, turtles and ducks, plus they must drink a lot of water. The reason they're called fire mares is because of the flame effect their gallop creates when they hit their top speed. The exact reason this happens is not known, but it seems to be some mystic effect that converts a lot of the impact shockwave into external energy so the bones in their legs don't shatter from the stress. But another bonus to this is the thermal updraft is strong enough to carry the fire mares soaring through the air in great gliding arcs when they race up the side of a hill, rise or mountain and launch themselves from the peak. This is not true flight, but legends have grown up around the effect, greatly exaggerating the distance these gliding leaps actually cover. Seeing as fire mares are found on many worlds, it's likely that there is some sort of a dimensional migration going on, or has randomly naturally occurred, and this could have been through the realm of fire, with the original horses running through volcanic areas, through naturally occurring portals and acquiring fire elemental traits from their time spent in the realm before they arrived on other worlds such as Krull. Krull certainly does have some divergent elemental properties involving fire, as evidenced by the common wedding ceremony practiced by humans living there, a ritual in which the element of fire is imbued into a person and exchanged to their partner via a water ritual. Also, humans on the world of Krull can withstand enormous amounts of heat, sufficient to retrieve objects by immersing their hands directly into molten lava. But further study would be required to confirm if this is not just some fanciful storytelling. Given their distribution to many different worlds, it's safe to assume fire mares come in a great many different shapes and sizes, adapting to whatever planets they eventually settle on, once they cross back over from the realms of fire. This also means that a herd of them could show up randomly wherever portals to the realm of fire occur, so a great species to adapt to whatever game setting and fantasy world you create for your own games. If you would like to learn some real-world mythology from ancient Greece, the legend of the hero Heracles and his 12 labours include his 8th task, where he was sent by King Eurystheus to steal the magnificent, wild and uncontrollable man-eating mares of Thrace. In some versions of this legend, these flesh-eating horses could also breathe fire. So I do wonder if the fire mares of Krull had a little inspiration from Greek myth, mixing in a little Pegasus there as well. If you want to include one part of the legend common to all versions of the Mares of Thrace story, the horses were said to become much calmer after they'd fed on meat. So if the players learn about this in your game, they might be able to more easily capture and ride some fire mares they first feed with a big steaming pile of freshly butchered venison or smoked fish or something. This makes a lot of sense because the fire mares will be well fed and not have that hunting hunger for a while, and they will have the nutrition they require to put on the extreme level of speed that the characters and the players will be really keen to make use of in the adventure. A little fun fact for you: historically, the horse of Alexander the Great, named Bucephalus, was said to have been a direct descendant of one of the 4 mares of Thrace, a massive and wild-natured horse with a black coat, the mark of an ox on its haunch, and a large white star on its brow. Also, one of its eyes was said to be blue. So quite a remarkable looking horse indeed, and one of the most famous in the history of our modern civilization. My name is AJ Pickett, thanks for listening. Just a reminder, I have a Kickstarter going right now for the best silicone battle mats in the known universe. Link in the video description below, and I'll put a link in a pinned comment for those of you who are watching this video via gaming consoles or similar. If you'd like some more lore from the film Krull, or perhaps some other fantasy movie favourite of yours, please let me know in the comments. And as always, I'll be back with more for you very soon.